Hey everyone, welcome back to the channel. Self Engineer K here, and today we've got some pretty cool stuff to go through. I'm just going to be going through a breakdown of the Mattel license that we had leaked recently. So again, the team hasn't had an official press conference regarding it, but I had a little bit of more information to share with regards to where Mattel is heading right now in the NFT space, as well as what they're looking to do next. And we had the drop yesterday, the Back to the Future Part 2 hoverboard, and I got really lucky because in my previous video, you guys probably saw, I said that, I posted a video saying I failed at the Frank Kozik Labbit drop, which I did. I didn't get any ultra rares, but I had something that made up for it, so I'll show you guys exactly what happened. And lastly, what I did also just want to touch on is just kind of like the interesting price movement that we've experienced today. And relative to Bitcoin, because I always prefer comparing Omi to Bitcoin because that gives you a better perspective of how Omi is doing relative to the rest of the crypto market. So without further ado, we'll just go straight into it now. Firstly, we had kind of the differences in floor price, shifting around quite a lot. We had the commons that dropped and they were going for, close to retail, and then all of a sudden the floor price shot to $45 and then went to $70, and then it went as high as $100 for a common. And that was just the day after the drop, so that is ridiculous. Now, I suspect a large amount of those were bought up by a few individuals, which is perfectly fine. They're taking a risk, so if the floor price goes up and they can profit off it, then they took the road. That's their reward for taking that huge risk. At the same time, the ultra rare was kind of going for around about 100 gems steady, but then the other ones, they are looking like they could start to move as well. So it was really interesting seeing the common kind of like just explode out of nowhere, but it does have the Mattel logo on it. But in terms of the actual NFT for the ultra rare, I got the 2015. Now that's an interesting number for those who may not be aware. If you go to the Back to the Future, they actually went back to the year 2015, or I guess it went forward to the year 2015. So that makes it the Back to the Future year, which makes the 2015 one quite valuable. And I got the ultra rare, which is the rarest version of that year. So that's really cool. This is the year that the board is also featured in. So I initially kind of just stuck it up on around about 800 700 gems. In the end, I settled for 650 gems sale. I think that's probably a little bit low, but at the same time I kind of just wanted to I'm not a mint hunter. I prefer just going for whatever mint, as long as it's an NFT that I like. And I'm using the spare gems for the next upcoming drops, but I did also buy a ultra rare season 1 Marcelin from Adventure Time, just because I think these season 1 ultra rares are really valuable. And right now I feel like they are actually quite undervalued relative to the rest of the market. The Rainicorn, the Marcelin, these kind of like set ones, I think they will start to blow up as more users come in. Now, we also, with regards to the collectibles, we had a sneak peek of this. So they said, where did the gap go? And I just posted Showroom version 2 confirmed, because that's pretty much what this is. This is a sneak peek of the version 2 showroom. So I'm hoping that from the previous AMA where I said you could literally walk through the wall and float in the sky, I think that might be actually patched, but we will have to see. So this is a really nice little teaser. I'm pretty excited to see what the version 2 showroom looks like. And like I've been saying in all my videos, whenever I show my showroom, I always go on about, I need to reorganize my showroom. So this gives me a pretty good reason to reorganize my showroom. Now, on the point of Mattel, so here's a pretty interesting article that was actually posted in April. So Mattel is tapping into the NFT craze after Barbie drives quarterly sales. So Barbie, okay, now there's a couple of things just from title. Firstly, Mattel's quarterly sales were driven predominantly by Barbie. So that goes to show that Barbie is one of their most popular brands, one of their most profit-driving brands, one of the brands that has a huge fan base. So, first point to take into consideration. Now, secondly, they're saying that they want to explore the NFT space, And they said after posting 47% surge in quarterly profits, um, as you know, all of the fans kind of snapped up the Barbie dolls as well as Hot Wheels. Actually, I'll touch on Hot Wheels in a second. Um, they are starting to explore NFTs. So they're looking to get Barbie into NFT format, and that's interesting because the article that was, where they leaked Mattel, they said specifically, they name dropped, Mattel has Barbie. So where could that take us? Well, they're looking to get Barbie into an NFT format. They got leaked that they're partnering with VeVe, and in that Marvel article, they specifically name dropped Barbie. And more recently, in the AMA with Frank Kozik, go back and watch that if you have not seen it. It's on my channel, with Frank Kozik and a few others. Dave, you said specifically that they're going to be releasing something that appeals quite a lot to the girls out there, like younger girls, and there are a couple that come to mind, but I think he may have been hinting at Barbie. Um, who knows? But I think it's pretty interesting that we will be seeing this now. Mattel, people kind of going about this. They're like, why can't they just go create their own NFT platform? Well, Mattel did that. They've created their own NFT platform. They've got Mattel Creations, and on here you can actually buy Hot Wheels NFTs. Now, the problem is Mattel is a toy maker. They're not a NFT platform. Therefore, their platform will never be, as good as VeVe's, and this is the main challenge that, competitors have. And this is, we saw this with cloud computing and banks. So, a lot of people were saying, look at banks, they have so much money, they'll never ever use, your cloud-based payment systems. They can just make their own. Well, they didn't. They adopted these cloud-based payment systems. They just integrate into their own systems. And the reason they did that is because if there's a solution out there, provider out there, which does something better than them currently, they're not going to waste time and money making it themselves. They're just going to take that existing solution and integrate it. And I feel like that's what Mattel's doing, is they can see, their platform isn't as sleek as VeVe's. It hasn't got the kind of user base. It hasn't got the added, all of the utility that comes from the platform. They just have these 3D NFTs, and I don't think there's too much utility. And we know that VeVe is going to have increasing amounts of utility as we move forward, so it just makes sense for them to release on VeVe. Now, that being said, these guys, they don't need to release only on VeVe. They can make their own platform if they want, whilst also releasing on VeVe, and that's what I see is going to be happening. Mattel started doing that. So when people kind of go on, oh, they can't get Disney because Disney will just make their own platform, they have enough money, it's like, yeah, they will, but well, they can, and they probably will. But there's nothing stopping them from releasing on both. If anything, they might as well go release on both. So, those are just my thoughts. But some people do disagree. But that is what it is. So, yeah, they've got Hot Wheels on their own platform, but I believe moving forwards, we'll probably see Hot Wheels on VeVe and also on, we'll see Barbie on VeVe as well. Now, Bitcoin to Omi. So this is the 24-hour. Let's go to the 30-day. Okay, so now we can see a bit more of better representation of where Omi's been going relative to Bitcoin. So at the start of the month, we were at around about this 0.7 region, and we dropped, and then we were continuing on this downtrend until we got the Marvel news. We had this huge spike, and then we had a bit of a pullback, and now we're kind of coming up close to exactly where we were relative to Bitcoin, which is pretty good. So I would say we're definitely on a solid road to recovery, but at the same time, myself personally, I will just continue to accumulate and hold. I haven't sold a single Omi token. I don't plan to sell any tokens anytime soon. Now, on that point, on the US dollar chart, so we can see here that Omi was in this zone, and eventually we kind of broke out this accumulation phase, and we just came up. We did have a wick back down to where this previous resistance was, which is now our support, and we are currently sat at 0.27 cents. Now, I feel like we are due for a continuation upwards still, and we'll probably come up to around about this previous region, this 0.32 region. We do need to retest that and see if we can hold around there. But Also on that point, there are catalysts coming. Reese specified that there was some good news coming with an exchange. That actually is perfectly fine with Go Chain. So we'll just have to see what happens with that, because any kind of exchange will temporarily pump the price, and then I see us having a pullback. So you know the growth of Omi does actually look a bit more organic now, because you can see we're not seeing crazy huge spikes in volume like we were here, where we would just get one massive candle, and whenever you get that, the price just has a huge range in volatility. Now the volume is looking more organic, and we're seeing this like nice little uptrend. But again, at the same time, I think it's also because certain individuals have not been selling, they haven't been setting their sell walls, so the price is kind of being allowed to move upwards. But yeah, that's pretty much everything I had to go through with you guys today. As always, please do like and subscribe to support the content. I'll keep you guys updated with anything else I find out. And I will see you guys in the next video. See ya.